on something, and then I looked at the chart, and I was like, this is weird. It just struck me as a weird coincidence that it would explode just as the
The
number of
day your video went live.
right. I could even sort of like I could look at the analytics in YouTube a couple days later. I'm like, the chart of my video is almost identical to the chart of the cryptocurrency, right? And this was something I think I invested, if I remember correctly, invested quote unquote. I bought $350 worth of this cryptocurrency, and then it did it 20x, and I sold it. And then it just kept going until now.
What crypto was that?
I think this was, I believe this one is called Shield. I actually checked the charts.
Oh yeah, Shield's dead now.
It sort of is, but it still has a pretty good market cap. I mean, I don't know if it's still being run or whatever.
You're right. You're not in the space anymore. But it had a gigantic run, and you basically started it because you uploaded a video. You've unlisted all these videos now, but you sent me one of the videos because I wanted to get an idea of the sort of the content you made.
Did I send you the Shield one?
Yeah. You sent me the Shield one, cool. And I was looking at the chart of Shield. You uploaded on December 17th or whatever. That exact day, Shield just spikes into the sky. Right. And in fact, you talked about two other cryptocurrencies, and those also had similar movements based on, kind of what you said about them. I think one of them you did not recommend, so it didn't move. And then the other one you also recommended. And again, right on December 17th, the market cap went from, I think it was like 4 million to 35 million in 2 days.
And then I think it peaked a little later at 110 million or something like that.
Right. But it was not a long time later, like a short time later. This is a short-term pump that basically directly led from your video. You can see the time. And let me repeat that again. $4 million to $35 million, or the all-time high of $110 million. Think of how insane that is. Asker, you ran a channel of, I think at the peak, it was like 40 to 50,000 subscribers on that channel.
A little more, but yeah, sure. None of us were very educated back then, and I think it's my impression that a lot of people would just...
Well, things have really changed now.
They have. They. I mean, to some extent, they have. The general knowledge level in the space is definitely bigger than it used to be, but it was bizarre. So, what was your question again? How did it happen? How can it happen?
Yeah, well, I guess that must have been a huge moment where you go, A, wow, this channel has way more influence than I thought it did, and B, does it occur to you, oh, I can use this and make a ton of money from being able to basically move the market with whatever, kind of garbage coin I want?
Right. Okay. So there's a couple things to unpack there. One of them is initially, I didn't really believe that I was creating these market movements because I have an academic background. I know correlation doesn't necessarily equal a causal relation.
I know, but every crypto you talked about on that day just goes whoop.
Just right. No, I know it's completely insane. Right. And I guess at some point, I don't remember exactly if this was with the Shield thing or Snovio, which is another one I talked about. But at some point, it changed from being just a suspicion to something I was, okay, this is me doing this. I remember I met up with a guy, also a fellow crypto enthusiast. We invited me out for a beer, I guess, and we went to a bar and had a few beers. And I told him about this theory I had. He was like, oh, for sure, man. Happens all the time. I was like, what? Does it? And, okay, so that's when I realized, okay, I can probably make a lot of money on this. And
yeah.
So I do want to interject just one thing. I think you used the term I recommended the coin. So I've been very careful the whole way through this circus to never recommend anything. I don't think I've used that wording ever. I'm just saying.
Oh, sure.
This is. I'm aware that's how people perceive it, and people would write me emails. Oh, what was your recommendation? Again, everyone would perceive it as a recommendation, and I was well aware of that. But I'm just saying, I try to sort of frame it as this is what I just did. I just bought this coin. I think it's a good investment. What you do is up to you. Of course, it's BS. Of course, it's BS. I mean, but right.
It is a recommendation without being a recommendation. It's like all the finance guys on YouTube.
I'm not going to sit here and say yes. I don't want any lawsuit. Please continue.
Right. It's like all the finance guys on YouTube. All they do all day is tell people how to invest, whatever, give people investment advice, and then at the end or in the description fold, they go, "Oh, none of this is all entertainment. It's all just education, entertainment. This is not investment advice." And of course, the truth is that they do that to kind of cover themselves legally. So to be fair to you and to make sure you don't get in a lawsuit, sure, you didn't recommend any of it, but and I'm sure you didn't want to recommend it, but everybody knew that that's kind of what it amounted to, or at least that's ostensibly why you were getting the audience you were, because some of these videos have like a quarter of